So I noticed the other day that we're already in the second half of 2025. And I think the half point of a year is a great time to have some reflection, look back at what came before. And since Genshin is entering a new chapter where things are about to get real serious after 5 years. So with that, I would like to look back at all the characters released this year and determine which one is the best in my opinion, as I make them fight head to head in like a tournament style, because for some reason I should not do tier list anymore. So I have 10 characters to go through, and to make it a bit more fair to the 4 stars, I'm gonna let them determine who is the best to enter into the second round of voting. But if you would want to see more videos just like this, leave a like and subscribe, and let's get ranking. First round, we have the battle of the 4-star shielders. We have our first Hydro shielder. I don't know why it took so long. And is it our first Animo shielder? Oh, okay. So we have first time shielders for their own elements, Lanyan versus Dahlia. And seeing that I only recently got Dahlia, so I haven't had much time to like use him properly. I haven't even finished building him, but I used him in the Imaginarium Theater. And not really impressed with what he does. I like that his shield regenerates on its own, but if you don't have very high constellations, that shield is kind of and you would think a Hydro character would benefit from having a lot of HP stacked for a shield, but maybe I need to get more constellations to see how good he is actually meta. He probably is meta for like Skirk or something, but from what I've gotten, meta wise, but his design, I don't mind. He looks like Rosaria's little brother. Honestly, I don't mind. It's the usual twink design. It works for what it is. It would have been nice if they'd made the Deacon like a dude, like a man. But because when I hear the word Deacon just sounds like a pastor that's gonna steal all your money.
Close the doors. Close the doors.
And for his story and his lore, I think they inserted him to the story a bit too late, because if he's the herald of Barbados, I think he should have been in the game since day one, because it's kind of weird that they have no explanation as to why he just came into the game now. When if he's the herald of Barbados, you would expect him to be around Barbados very often, because it's been 5 years. So story-wise, he's not that interesting. I like his jovialness. He's kind of funny sometimes, but from what we've gotten so far, yeah, forgettable character. Apart from him being the first Hydro Shield, I think that's the thing that most people are going to remember him for. But for Lanyan is someone that, Lanyan, in terms of meta-wise, at high constellation, she's probably the most versatile shielder in the game, even rivaling some of the 5 stars. And her shield's elemental infusion makes her the Bennett of shielders, where she can work with almost any team. The elemental infusion that her shield generates, I don't really see. Maybe I didn't read it, but maybe I need more constellations. But I don't see how that if it was like a case where it amplifies damage or increases the res of the resistance of something, I would be like, yeah. But honestly, I like her so much. I like her design. Well, her design is a bit yeah, 4-star design, so it's good for a 4-star. The hair, oh my god, Genshin needs to stop doing unrealistic hairstyles. That just, how is that even possible? But her design is fine. Her story within the Lantern Rite, I think it's okay. But Who's the best right now? You can already tell. So Lanyan's much better than Dahlia, because Dahlia's a dude. So yeah, he's gonna be the worst of the two. So next round is Yansan versus Aoife, and these are actually two characters that I like, and you can tell why. So for these two characters, I really like their characterization. Lore wise, I think Aoife might have a bit more lore, because I was expecting Yansan, when we first got teased about her about 5 years ago, I was expecting some world breaker type stuff, when, well, we were expecting Natlan to be a bit more darker than it actually turned out to be. So we've been waiting for Yansan for a long time. So I was kind of disappointed when they made her less gritty, because the skull on her head looked more realistic than what it turned out to be. So they kind of toned down the seriousness of her character. Because really and truly, if you really look at that, you have a Saurian skull on your head. Where the hell did you get that from? Think about that. Wait a minute. Aoife is a veterinarian for Saurians, and Yansan kills Saurians. Oh, it's a nice matchup. But yeah, I really enjoyed what they've given us for these two characters. They're 4 stars. They're not going to be as important to the story, but I do appreciate that Yansan was actually a part of the heroes, the ancient name holder bearer heroes thing. I don't remember the name of it. Shit. But yeah, in terms of meta wise, I hate the fact that Yansan doesn't work. Her buff doesn't work with everyone, and I think that's where she fell off real hard. If you have Yansan but you don't have any Natlan characters, Yansan's kind of useless unless you have Shen Yun on your team, or maybe even Ga Ming or Xiao. Arlen Chino a little bit, but you have to time that thing properly. So but with Bennett works with almost everyone. Yeah, with everyone. So I do not like that aspect of her character, but seeing that I've gotten most of the characters on this list that works well with her, I really enjoy what she brings to the table. I wish I would have more constellation, because I think each one of her constellations is like really OP and makes things like really great. But in terms of meta-wise, I hate the fact that she doesn't work with everyone, which I think, yeah, Genshin limiting a character of, yeah. Apart from the skull thing not being gritty enough, I really like Yansan's design. And I really like Aoife's design, but his what were they thinking? Are they trying to troll us at this point when it comes to male characters? Like, damn, such a cool design for a character, and they just also this guy has a gun, and you couldn't make that cool. So yeah, as you can tell, Yansan's the better character of the two. So Yansan will go ahead into the second round. So yeah, this is where things get a little bit more interesting in that department. So Lanyan versus Mizuki. Mizuki is what I'm gonna call her. I don't know how to pronounce that part.
Well, I can't read.
2 Animo Catalyst users, and they were released very close to each other. So one was bound to overshadow the other, and I think you guess which one did that. In terms of design, I think they're both fine. Mizuki, I get what they're going with, the therapist thing, but I don't like it. But maybe you like it, but okay. I like that she's wearing a kimono, because I'm very surprised that there's not a lot of people in Inazuma that wears a kimono, but it's kind of too short, so yeah. In terms of lore, I think definitely Mizuki wins out on that one, because I think her powers, well, if they're serious about it, I think her powers can become very useful later on in the story, especially when it comes to like the abyss. So they made a therapist very interesting, and I do appreciate that. From what I expected from her character's trailer, they went above and beyond for her character story. So I'm impressed with that. And that last cutscene was really amazing. So I like the character work that they did. Playstyle, she just stands around and just hovers around like that. It looks cool on Novelet, but I don't like that. And when it comes to Lanyan can do Mizuki's playstyle so much better, and she's also a support. So easy win here for Lanyan. Lanyan actually beats a 5-star. And one thing about the Yanamo characters that they've been releasing, why can't nobody else, apart from like Shen Yun at like C6, maybe Hazel, but I haven't tried, why can't no other Animo character use Scaramouche's set properly? Everybody's like VV this, VV that. Give VV a break, god damn. But yeah, I would need to try. Because it would make sense for Lanyan to be able to use that artifact as a main DPS or sub DPS. I'm gonna try, but I do know that Lanyan does Mizuki's playstyle much better than Mizuki. So with that, Mizuki loses to Lanyan. All right, so from one shielder to another one, we have Lali versus Skirk. And Lali. Well, when they introduced what she would look like in that trailer, we were all disappointed with how pale everyone was. And then I saw a design of Lali if she had darker skin, and I was like, wow, this design looks so much better, because I think the contrast with her pale skin and her pale hair, the color contrast just doesn't work, if you know what I mean. I think it's the same thing with Skirk. Skirk's just white all over, like everywhere. So that kind of soured me on the character overall before she was even released, because when I heard Natlan, I was thinking about characters like, they did characters in like Honkai Impact that look like, oh, this would look really cool for like when we go to Natlan with whatever they're gonna do with Natlan. They did that, but they just made her see-through. Then she was introduced, and I was like, okay, I see where you guys are going. And then they did a complete 180 on that story and turned her from aggressive Asian mom type to be like, oh my god, traveler. It's not like Wuha where everybody wants to have with the rover, but it just came out of such left field. I see some people explain that, oh, she's been around for 500 years and everybody's been dying, so the one connection that she has with somebody maybe her age or maybe even older, she was like, I'm gonna cling on to this. I can understand that, but they did not portray that well enough in the story. It is what it is, I guess. But she's up against Skirk. Skirk wins, of course, because she's Skirk. Do I need to say anything more? Okay, when it comes to Skirk's playstyle, real disappointing, because Wuha is doing the same thing over there, so I can't really be like, oh, you're doing it too. So I'm blaming each side, because I don't like the sticking characters within a certain archetype to be like, this is the team that this is the reaction thing that you're gonna play with, this is the thing that you're gonna mess with, and you're not gonna leave this little thing here. If you leave this, your damage falls off completely. So I do not like that. Honestly, do not like that. Honestly, the only reason why I think I was able to salvage her and be like, oh yeah, she's great, because I got Escoffier, and I didn't even plan to get Escoffier. I didn't even know that Escoffier was going to be good for specifically Skirk, and I have Farina, so yeah. So I was very lucky when it comes to getting Skirk's best team. I don't have Shenhe, but Skirk for me works pretty well. I can think some other people in terms of the meta, well, if you're gonna be meta, you're gonna have Escoffier. But for people that see her and be like, oh my god, she's gonna do great damage, but I don't have Escoffier and I don't have Marina, I could see where they'd be like, oh god, that's kind of disappointing. And I am disappointed as well, because I was expecting like, wait a minute, she can't do superconduct, right? Oh god damn, poor superconduct. Apart from like Ferminate, when is the last time superconduct was like good? Ah, poor superconduct. But yeah, Skirk wins, of course, because Skirk's better than Sealolly in every way. Design, even though I did like her previous design, they kind of tweaked it a little bit. I would want her old skin as like a alternative skin to like what they did with like Mona and Rosaria and stuff and Jean. But yeah, I liked her old design better. And her story, yeah, we know what her story is, and it's absolutely tragic. So we have two characters that are released together at the same time, and they were made for each other. But what do I think? We have Verisa, which is one of the characters that have been like very controversial for reasons, which I'm like, I get where you're coming from, but don't make no sense, because the inspiration makes sense if you know wrestling. And Ianzan, who is another character that I love so much, but again, I was disappointed with how she played and who she has to play with. So of course, Verisa is going to be much better than her. I haven't played Verisa's story quest yet within the tribal quest yet, but I'm assuming it's like adorable, little cheeky here, little cheeky there. Oh, she eats a lot. Funny. She's chunky. She's bigger than everybody else. But yeah, Verisa, I love her playstyle so much. I love her playstyle so much. Verisa can work without Ianzan. Ianzan needs Verisa to work properly. Design-wise, I get the design. Not really a fan of I wasn't really a fan of the design because it just seems so out of place. Malwika is very out of place. But yeah, yeah, Verisa wins very handily because she can work everywhere, unlike Ianzan, and her design is fine. She's a cow. Moo 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 moo. All right, so for the last match in the third round, we have Malwika, which I'm really surprised when I look back on the list for this. I am really surprised that Malwika was released this year. It just feels like she's been in the game for like at least a year by now, that I was really shocked when I like, wait, Malwika was released on the first day. She was released New Year's Day. I was like, oh my god. She's just so common and meta defined at the point that you think she's been dominating for like years. But she was released this year. Malwika, yes, Malwika is the strongest character. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She's the strongest character in the game with her Natlanese. It's another case like Skirk, where if she doesn't have specific teammates, her damage falls off. Well, her damage falls off pretty quickly, and you can't really generate her ult that quickly. So in terms of accessibility, not the best when it comes for free to play. If you don't have Seat Lolly, then this is where I think I wasn't truly satisfied with what her character was. Firstly, her design. I'm aware that there is biker gangs within Australia because that's what her character design is based off. But seeing the time period that, well, we don't know what time period it's in, but I'm assuming we're in a time period where things are a bit more tribal. So I don't see any biker gangs being around in ancient inspiration based on those cultures. Why did they do a mix of modern, well, somewhat recent inspiration to these countries compared to the other ones? her design in the trailer, in that trailer for her, if that was her trailer, I would be like, that's the God of War right there. That's the God of War. When I look at this, it's like, oh wait, whose mom is in the backer gang on the weekends? That's what I get from her design. Her hair, fantastic. Her hair stands out, like she's special. So if you show someone like, who is the pyro icon, and be like, that person's hair is on fire. That's pretty cool. But the design just takes it down. Still a great design, but not for the God of War. I still do not understand what her character is supposed to be. Whereas, Ventis is a free Roman spirit. He's like, yeah, I do what I want. You guys can do what you want. I'm a little twink boy. Zhongli's be like, I'm an old man. I don't want to tell nobody nothing. Don't talk to me. Zhongli's very suspicious. And A being like a very conflicted person, like Inazuma, It Shines Eternal, and all the other the Archons so far, we kind of get what their character is. Mawika's like, teamwork. I like team. That's it. Of course, she wins over Escoffier, but yeah, Escoffier, I do appreciate that she's revived freeze teams and cryo in general, because I'm now using her with Aloy of all people, and she's doing pretty fine in Skirk teams. So that's something. I tried to use her with Chi-Chi at one point. Chi-Chi's doing pretty great. I like that. Design, story, I don't give a damn. She's a utility character. She's there to make other characters be better. Maybe I need to try her story to be like, yeah, I get that, but what I've gotten so far from the event that we did the other day, the other patch, she's fine. I like that her VAs, her English VA's voice breaks from, because I know the English VA does Lumi's voice acting in Wuha, so she's Irish, well, Irish or Scottish, well, one of them. So I like that her character voice breaks during some scenes, and I think it's pretty hilarious. But yeah, against Mawika, you ain't standing a chance. So, Lanyan versus Skirk. Skirk wins. Marisa versus Mawika. Mawika wins. So now we're at the point where these characters are much more similar than we can think, because both very powerful with their respective teams. Skirk is the most powerful cryo character. Mawika is the most powerful character overall. Guess who wins? Seeing how Mawika has made a lasting impact on the meta of this game. Maybe Skirk hasn't been around long enough to do that. I think Mawika's been more impactful when it comes to the game, because everybody's going to be like, oh, the power creep this, the power creep that. Yes, she's more monumental in that term. Skirk's story was amazing. Skirk's story was on your... That's kind of gay. But Skirk's story was on your ass from the jump, because everything was impactful and everything was important. Mawika could have had that. Could have, if they told it much better, because her story quest, unless, because Mawika's story is not done yet, because she still has the Gnosis. So I'm assuming she's going to get a second story quest. So, really and truly, I think Skirk, in terms of everything else, apart from, there's only one thing that kills her for me. That's the being locked into one team. Mawika, her design and her story isn't fleshed out enough for me to be like, yeah. So, Mawika versus Skirk. Meta-wise, Mawika blitzes Skirk. But I think Skirk might be the best character so far. We're gonna see the characters that have been announced. We're gonna see. But for me, Mawika, oh my god, Mawika, I feel really bad. Mawika has so much more potential. She Skirk wins. Ah, damn it. That's quite a character to lose to, Mawika. We're gonna see at the end of the year. Maybe I do a tier list at the end of the year, see who's the best character overall, because we're gonna head into a different league of power, it seems, and Genshin's story is gonna lock in. So we're expecting good stuff, right? Right. So yeah, that's it for the video. Leave a like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. My name has been MJ, and I'll see you guys in the next video. There.